When I was about 8 years old, I started getting these spasms in my stomach. They got sharper and sharper and sharper to the point where I couldn't breathe and I'd be sweating. I would run to my parents and say, it's starting. And they would literally throw me into the back seat of the car and rush me to the emergency room. And they'd give me a pill and told me it was growing pains. One time I got the pain when I was eating, and that pain pretty much persisted for about 6 weeks. I couldn't go to school, I couldn't go outside, I couldn't eat anything. I got real weak. The gums in my mouth turned white, and that was pretty much the way my life was until I started getting a little older. And then one of the doctors said, "Oh, I see the problem. No tests at all." He said, "The problem is you have an ulcer." And then they put me on Tagamed, and it didn't help. But then the next major stage, I was probably in my early 50s. I had my annual physical exam, and I'm sitting in the doctor's office, and he came in reading my chart, and he just kept saying over and over, "I can't believe what I'm seeing here. You're in great shape. You work out every day. You don't take drugs. You don't drink a lot." And I got really scared because I thought he was going to tell me I had cancer. He says, your pancreas is completely calcified. It's destroyed. You must have had like a hard attack at one point in your life. And that pretty much did all the damage. It would have been like a horrible stomach ache, probably when you were about 10. And right then, I think I almost fainted. I said, yeah, I was 8. And I had a horrible stomach ache for about 6 weeks. I said, this all makes sense now. And it was really emotional. I said, this has made my life miserable for 40 years now. Concurrently with what was happening with me, my oldest daughter and my granddaughter, they had just found out they were diabetics and had pancreatitis. My daughter made the connection and received genetic testing and found out that she had the PRSS1 gene.
When I was younger, I used to get terrible, terrible stomach aches. I would tell my family, like, I'm dying. They were so awful. Right before my freshman year of high school, I had my gallbladder removed. I was told, you'll never feel that pain again. That's what was causing all that pain. And I did get the pain again, and the stomach aches continued through high school. I was diagnosed with chronic pancreatitis when I was 23 years old. It wasn't until my daughter was 3 years old and getting really, really sick did she get the diagnosis of pancreatitis at 4 years old. It was definitely important to get that genetic testing specifically for our PRSS1 gene mutation so that the doctors knew exactly what we were dealing with and had that concrete evidence of it's pancreatitis. It's not a virus. It's not the flu. It's urgent to find a cure for pancreatitis because that is some of the most difficult and terrible pain you will ever experience in your life. Pancreatitis has impacted so many aspects of my life just because I have it, my daughter has it. During the day, I typically don't eat because I don't want to start any pain. I've always required jobs that are flexible, will allow me to take time off if need be, or if my daughter's not doing well.
I look at my granddaughter who's 20 and I think, what a shame. I don't want her to have to go through what I went through and what my oldest daughter went through. My pancreas is destroyed and it's not going to come back. If we could find a cure, it would just ease my mind for my kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, and for all the other little kids that are going through this misery right now.